What is going on, fellas? We told y'all already, like, this ain't it. Just because the season's over, we still giving y'all some content. You're listening to the All Burgundy and Gold Everything, powered by the Urban Sports Team and Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Wole, Virginia. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by my guys, George, Glen. The homie Mo is going to be out, so it's okay. We still holding it down. What's going on, fellas?
I'm doing all right, man. I think I finally recovered. It's been a rough week since Sunday. I haven't watched really too much football. I talked about football, but I'm okay. I'm making it through.
I am not dealing with this well, to be perfectly honest, because one, I'm friends with quite a few Eagles fans, and so holding that L has not been comfortable. And two, shout out Coach Lombard, because I saw him on Twitter, said, "Oh, I'll follow him." And it's just been nothing but Eagles propaganda just popping up in my timeline since I followed him. And I'm going to keep following him because he's doing a lot of draft stuff. Yeah. But that Eagles propaganda is hard to take right now. It is hard to take. And I am in a terrible position because I did not want the Chiefs to three-peat. But I damn sure can't take another Eagles Super Bowl win. I can't take it.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Paul? What's going on, Coach? Man, what's going on, Coach Lombard? You know, he's my guy. Even though, yeah, he's an Eagles fan. He gave us our flowers, so I got to give him.
That's right.
I gotta give him.
He deserves his flowers.
He gave us our flowers. So I'm like,
yes.
And sorry if I followed discombobulated. I was listening to the playback and I was like, yo, what's going on? I'm hearing voices twice, so I had to like play it off. I'm like, I'm hearing Glen talking over Glen. I was like, what's happening? Now I'm good though. I'm good now. You know, then I was hearing George talking over George. I was like, I was like, let me decipher which voice is what. But now I'm good. I'm myself. But before we get into the actual show and its topic, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Gold Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything and hit us up on TikTok and IG at ABG_everything. If you're on YouTube right now or you're watching it from somewhere else, go to the All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. If you're feeling real generous and real froggy, hit us with a super chat on YouTube, and we'll prioritize your comments. This is also being streamed on the Urban Sports Scene X handle, so you can go over there on the Urban Sports Scene X handle and give it a follow as well. Anyway, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We're going to debate on which players that we think the Washington Commanders should return, or who should be let go, or also release, trade. We'll play a little bit with that as well. But let's go right into it. All right, Glenn, take us into it because this is your topic. Man. I love your topic.
Let's talk about it here. The Commanders have a lot of decisions to make in the upcoming offseason, right? They have several free agents, such as Zach Ertz, De'Ami Brown, Noah Brown, Bobby Wagner, Jeremy Finn, Dante Fowler, just to name a few. Who would you like to see return? Guys in the chat, put in the chat. And we're going to talk about it. Who would you like to see return? We're going to start with you, Wole, man. Who do you want to see return that's a free agent?
First off, man, we Bobby Wagner. I think that's the one. Like, he's got to return, man. Like, I feel like, Glenn, it's a guy that you wanted for a while. I've wanted for a while.
Right.
It's just a guy that, like, when we got him, like, we now know what it means to have a real middle linebacker. So I'm like, yo, we got to have him back. He's just, more than anything, it's just cool to see a real leader. You know what I'm saying? He's a leader. So I think if I had to pick one dude off the rip, a guy that, like, and there's other guys obviously I want, but it'd be Bobby Wagner.
George, who's that one guy that you think that you want to see return?
Oh gosh, this is tough because I think the obvious one for me, because you said is Chin, right? Chin's one of the guys, isn't he? He's a free agent.
Yep.
I think Chin's got to come back for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, when we look through the free agents, Bobby Wagner's one. There's a few others, but I'll tell you what, if a lot of our free agents on defense, it's not going to bother me much if they don't come back. But Jeremy Chin, after a tough start to the season, he played really well. You could almost say the last 3 quarters of the season because it's a tough first month. But I thought he was pretty tremendous after that. So Jeremy Chin for me.
Mm-hmm. For me, I got 2, but if I only have to pick one, I'm going to tell you who I want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Mariota.
Okay.
And the reason I say Marcus Mariota, he understands the system. If anything ever happened to Jaden, we saw what a good backup quarterback could do with his offense and with his league, with this team. Somebody that you can trust, somebody that you can, confide in, and this guy can run it, right? And another guy who can push Jaden a little bit, make Jaden that much better, right? That crafty veteran that he can trust, that he understands, that's in there. So you keep Kingsbury, Jaden, and Marcus together for another year. I think everybody gets better in that situation. And the other guy, if you had to ask me that I need to see a free agent that needs to come back, and people may laugh at me, but it's Tressway.
No
that's not laugh. That's a good one.
It's
I mean, Mariota's your best answer. I love the Mariota answer.
Yeah, that's the one that surprises. The Mariota one's a surprising one. Not a bad answer. It's a good answer.
It's a great answer. Yeah, and I would just add this. Given our cap space, we can afford to probably pay him more than just about any other backup quarterback. And I think we should consider that if it takes that to keep him.
No, I agree. I think Mariota's we got some Santiago. What's going on, my guy? Santiago Bond said Ertz, great. Todd said Ertz as well.
Yeah.
Paul has he said Chin, Wagner, Diami, Ertz, Lucas, and Tressway.
I think if you get Ertz because of the price tag that he's looking at, I mean his salary this year was only $3 million.
Yeah.
So if you can get Ertz, that would be great. I think Ertz is a one that a safety blanket. You know what I'm saying? Ertz has 11 catches on Sunday, right? This past Sunday. Ertz is that safety blanket. He's consistent. The guy you look for third and fourth down. I think Zach Ertz is a good answer. I'd like to have Zach Ertz back as well.
Yeah, Zach Ertz was definitely one of my top ones as well. I thought Zach Ertz. I mean, if we're talking about putting Jaden Daniels in the best way to be successful, we had great news with hearing about Cliff Kingsbury returning. We saw that in terms of Jaden Daniels' comfort zone, a player that he had a lot other than Terry McLaurin, a player he had a lot of chemistry with Zach Ertz. So I would do whatever it takes. That's why it makes him that much potent. Like I do whatever it takes to have him there. I do not want to ruin Jaden's comfort level. And Zach Ertz showed us, and it showed me that Jaden was very confident in going to Zach Ertz often. You saw that. You mentioned it, Glenn. How many times did you go to Zach Ertz in that Eagles game?
11. He got
exactly
11,
how many successes, and he went to him a lot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it just shows the trust that he has in Zach Ertz. So for me, I think just that alone, and even the words that Zach Ertz said after the game, like he felt like Washington brought the love of football back to him, and he just thought that if he met Jayden if he was a little bit younger, he felt like if he was younger, he felt like teaming up with Jayden, it could have changed his whole career. He said that he's had a really good NFL career, but he said that as well. So that lets you know, one, the belief he has in this organization, two, the beliefs he has in Jayden, and three, the love he does have for Jayden. And you could tell it's something that I think is on the other side. Jayden got love for him a lot as well. So I think Zach Ertz is definitely important. Paul mentioning a guy we haven't mentioned, like Diami Brown. He has Diami Brown on his list as well. Everybody know how. I think Diami is a great fit. Would be a good, like, it wouldn't be expensive. I think Diami turned up towards the end of the season. I think depending on the money, that's all. To me, that's what matters to me. Depending on the money, but yeah, Diami would be a guy I would bring back.
I think Diami did enough towards the end of the season to come back. He does. I know for him, he doesn't want the last thing we remember in Washington for him being the guy who fumbled the football, right?
Yeah.
In a playoff game. I think Diami is smart. I think Cliff Kingsbury likes Diami, right? I think he does. I think he fits into what they're trying to do, and we all know they do need to get a number 2, right? The question is, can Diami be that guy? Not the number 2, but can he be a slot? How much can he be? Is he that slot guy? What can Diami do? Because Washington is going to go get a wide receiver, in my opinion. They're going to go get somebody big.
Yeah, I think this is I said this on the post game show. Like, offense isn't the thing that I'm really concerned about, and it's not like look at this. Look at the guys in the Super Bowl. Look at the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Defense.
Who's their wide receivers?
Xavier Worthy.
A rookie? Do they have a number 1? Do they have a legit number 1?
No, unless you count the tight end.
Unless
Exactly.
you count And
Exactly.
you got an old DeAndre
Why? So
Hopkins.
when everybody keeps saying somebody needs a number two, who does Joe Burrow have? Who's Joe Burrow have?
Higgins
And who else?
Jamar Chase.
and Jamar
Is he in
Chase.
is he in the playoffs?
No.
All right.
No, but
That's
they don't have no defense either.
exactly. So look, like you said, George. Would say it again. They have no defense, right? They were
They
trash.
have no defense.
But see, but what you say, if they came to you and said, we got to prioritize a tight end, what would you say? Like you could make an argument they need a tight end. Would you say they prioritize tight end over defense? What would you say? They need to prioritize what? No. Defense, right? You say defense over tight end, right?
Oh, we all know they need defense.
So Washington. So when people say Washington automatic, they score 30 plus a game, close to 30 plus a game already, right?
Yep.
This is whatever. When people say they need this on the offensive side. The only thing they need on the offensive side for real to me, because is an office alignment.
Right.
That's what they definitely need. But when you look at when we prioritize, and we'll talk about on the defense and who should walk, whatever, they need defense.
Yes.
Because Jayden shouldn't be in games where he has to score 40 and 30 all the time. They need defense.
They do, but here's the point that I think some of the people that want to see some overhaul of the offense make that I think is kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Jayden did a lot of more with a lot of less last year. The running game kind of disappeared down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And until the playoffs, the other wide receivers not named Terry McLaurin weren't producing. Yeah. And Zach is 38. So, we're going to get to some of the people that we don't mind if they don't come back or whatever.
Yeah.
But based on those arguments, you can understand people saying, and you're right about the offensive line, by the way. That's a big priority too, because there were some issues on the offensive line that cropped up as the season went on. Mm-hmm. Some of it's injuries, some of it was lack of talent. Some of it was, players that were young struggling and guys we signed struggling. But you could overhaul this wide receiving crew, keep Terry and Luke, and I'm not sure too many people be upset. And you could move on from Zach Ertz and get a veteran that's not as old and maybe a little more dynamic. I don't think a lot of people would be upset either. I don't think I'd be upset.
Yeah, no. A lot of people, you're right. A lot of people would be upset they got a dynamic tight end. Doesn't mean it's going to make it better. You know what I mean? Like, we always look at dynamic tight ends. All right, for instance, I love Kyle Pitts. I think he's dynamic as hell. I can't tell you Kyle Pitts is going to be better than Zach Ertz, to be real with you. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, it looked good. It looked good. But don't mean it's going to be good with Jayden.
Right, but also you got to realize too that this wasn't Zach Ertz's first year in this offense. So there's some things that he helped Jayden with.
Exactly.
That Kyle Pitts wasn't help Jayden with.
Yeah, I agree with you. It goes back to comfort level. That's what I'm saying. You got to do. Sometimes we look at the outside and we're like, oh, this outside person is going to definitely mess with what's going to work in this building. You got to look at the chemistry. Chemistry is very important. Like, why would I want to get away from like? It's so easy to say, yeah, that dude is younger than Zach Ertz. You know what I mean? I think Zach Ertz is like 34, 35. You see 34, 35. It's easy to say that. But when you have, like, ideally, this is what I would do. And I think something like that Paul said right here. Like, I would draft a young tight end and have Zach Ertz with me. But you got Ben Sinnott. If you like Ben Sinnott, then you like Ben Sinnott so much, he's learning under Zach Ertz, right? So he should be next in line, right? In that thought process. So, like, in essence, but there's nothing wrong with still keeping Zach Ertz. I like this. Thank you, Paul. I agree with you. You like Wole, I agree with you. They got wide receivers open in this offense. They did. In this offense, people get open. They did get people. They scheme people open. And again, you're still scoring 30. Like, I get where people are coming from, but you're still scoring 30. Pat Mahomes ain't barely score whatever, and they would win football games.
Yeah.
You're still scoring 30. Like, I get if we weren't scoring, then I'm with everybody. When you still scoring 30, I ain't gonna be that person to say you need this, you need that. You scoring 30. I'm gonna look on the other side. You're giving up 30.
We put so much on Jayden, and I think one of my things I was saying a few different times is we got to help him more. And the talent is one of those things where I think he needs a little more help, even though he's a great player.
I agree with you, but I think you're looking at all right. Why are they putting more pressure on Jayden? You're saying it in terms of the score. The other team is scoring as well, right?
That is true.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're looking at it score for score. If your defense was comparable, or half decent, Jayden, what he's doing now is having big leads. When you're scoring almost on every drive, or they're controlling the ball for most of it because they can run on you easily, then you're putting pressure on Jayden. Now Jayden has to score every drive. It's the same thing. What truth be told is the same. Even with Peyton Manning and the offenses he had, it's the same thing he used to have when he said he played against, let's say, a Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. Like his defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, so he was forced to keep scoring. So there was a lot. They're putting a lot of pressure on Peyton Manning to keep scoring. So once they got to stop on Peyton, he was screwed. You know what I mean? And he had Marvin Harrison. He had Reggie Wayne. You know what I mean? But the pressure was because the defense couldn't stop nobody. So I'm saying, like, in football, it's still a team game. It goes hand in hand. I'm with you, George. Like, there's obviously, like, you can upgrade a receiver. I'm not saying you can't. So I'm not going to put that up. Like, you can definitely upgrade in terms of playmaking ability and tight end. You could do that. You could upgrade. I think in terms of what they need in terms of skill position players, I would say they need more of a fast twitch running back. Like, I feel like that's a real need. That's a thorough need. Somebody who can get you a home run play off the rip rather than keep grinding it out. Like, I would say that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I think they are. But yeah, but back to the guy. We got a lot of comments. I know I'm like kind of like.
No, you good.
Paul said they need a running back. I know Taj had a couple. Todd said, Todd says Diami's okay at the right place, but I think someone else will overpay for him. Overpay him. Oh, that's crazy. You think so? All right. I don't feel like the body of work is fair to overpay him, but I could be wrong. Let's see. Todd said, I told everyone after the game we have to build our team to take out the Eagles. My attention is cornerback and D-line. We got to stop Barkley, and those receivers the Eagles have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. You agree? I'm sorry, you, George. You agree with that?
I think he's absolutely. I think he's absolutely right. The target is Philadelphia because Detroit's still going to be really good, but they wanted Detroit, and you could maybe argue if Detroit was healthy, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
but you're not going to make me. You're not going to convince me that Jared Goff is getting Detroit to a Super Bowl. You're not going to convince me of that. And you just look at the rest of this NFC. Maybe the Packers will be good, but if you were somebody in the camp of paying Jordan Love, and I was after last year, that isn't looking too great right now. The Vikings, we'll see. The 49ers, we'll see. If they really pay Brock Purdy $60 million, I'm putting a line through them because that to me would be a tremendous mistake. Seattle, I don't know. Maybe Stafford's old with the Rams. I'm kind of wondering if the physical drop off's going to start with him coming next year. I don't want to go as far as to say that it's Philadelphia and Washington for the next few years in this conference, but it feels that way. So I think the biggest thing I'm looking at is, and you guys said it. One of you guys said it in the post game is actually true. We got to figure out how to set the edge so that this Barkley stuff doesn't happen again or doesn't happen to this degree again. Because the guy had 3 or 4 60-yard touchdown runs against us this year. Yeah. And that's just insane. Crazy. And that cannot happen again if we're going to beat these guys when it really matters in December and January.
Glenn, you agree with Taj's point?
Yeah, I agree with Taj pointed out. You have to be able to you need that cornerback. You also need some D-line. You need some outside linebackers. You need some things on that defense side of the football to stop a guy like Saquon Barkley. Because you don't want to be able to shoot out every week, right? We know what it is. When you get a team that get ran on, right, and then it opens up a lot of things, play action and all kind of other stuff. And when you got a guy who's explosive like that in your division, one thing I want to talk about, George, we don't know what Detroit's going to be like without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glen.
Yeah, too. Yeah, that's true, though. We don't know.
Right?
Absolutely right.
That is the $1 million question for Detroit. Was it all Ben Johnson and was it all Aaron Glen? Or was it Dan Camp? You know what I'm saying? So that Detroit's a question mark moving forward, even with Jared Goff, right? New coordinators coming in, new coaches coming in. But this watch, I agree with Wole and everybody in the chat. A running game needs to take place. But everybody want to blame Brian Robinson. I don't blame Brian Robinson. I blame the offensive line because
Yeah, I agree with that too.
you watch at some of the games, he had nowhere to go. And I'm not one of those guys that always pick on a lineman because I used to coach offensive line. I used to hate people, so I would block somebody. No, we blocked somebody, but we just didn't get the push that we needed to get where they need to get, or we didn't hold the block. Washington didn't hold the blocks long enough, so a running back could get through, and those things. Now, could he be more explosive? Definitely, right? I need one to take one home, and break one, and I think that is a key there too. And secondary, you got a team that only had I think Washington ended up 8 interceptions all year.
Yeah, they didn't really get
It
that many
wasn't, it, was,
turnovers.
it wasn't double digits. I'll put it that. They didn't end up in
Said
double
it
digits.
was 8. I'm shocked.
Didn't end up in double digit, and Mikey had the most in the regular season, which was 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, most of it in the postseason. Yeah.
Yep, and postseason as well. So again, that way you need to be able to take the ball away. Corners there. If you're going to keep Marshawn Lattimore, you need somebody on the other side. And you got Mikey, but if you're not going to get rid of Marshawn Lattimore, you still need another corner. So you got some holes.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, cornerback, I feel like they can do that in the draft. I do think because you got Marshawn coming back, and we'll have that discussion too on the show too, because I know some folks are kind of down on him. But we got Marshawn coming back. You got Mikey. I think you draft a cornerback. I would consider thinking, depending on if we're not. This is not the draft show, but I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. If I'm Washington, I would consider. If cornerback's the best player available at where they're at, slotted, draft a corner. If it's defensive oriented though, and how I'm thinking of it, I would draft the best defensive player available, pass rusher, D tackle, linebacker. I don't care who it is. The best defensive player available, safety. I don't care who it is. Draft that player and then plug them in. Now, if it happens to be a corner, I think you take him. At least that way, you have Marshawn. If he's gonna, if he gets injured, you can always slot Mikey back on the outside, but Mikey can play inside. So if you could have all 3 of them, you would have Marshawn on the outside, Mikey on the inside. I mean the nickel, and then the rookie corner on the outside. I think you're set up for success. Because that's one thing I do like about mention the Eagles, and I'm gonna give you Coach Lombard. I'm gonna give you credit, like your team credit. Like the Eagles draft pretty well, like they do. They draft very well. I remember when they got both those corners, Quinyon Mitchell, and what's the other dude?
Cooper DeJean.
They got them late. They got them when they should have. Those 2 dudes should have really been drafted earlier.
Yeah,
and they got them as steals. So they draft well. They just draft well. They know how to draft. So something about Washington. I think Washington now is starting to get into that. Getting Mikey in the second round was a good pick. Good value. I think they're starting to do the same thing. So I do feel like when those type of players come up on Washington's board and they're available, I think Washington will have a good opportunity. I think that Adam Peters, and I'm not here to doubt Peters. He killed the draft. He killed the draft. So like I expect for them to do well in the draft. That's why, truth be told, I know people are so enamored with free agency, but there's certain players that I think they should definitely go after if that player is interested. You like if they get T. Higgins, am I going to be mad? Hell no, I'm be happy. But like there are players in the draft. I feel like he's still going to build this team through the draft more than free agency. I think you can get a lot of value, and you're going to see this team continue to grow because of what Adam Peters is able to do in the draft. You know what I mean? Like what he did in last year's draft, we can't discredit like that. That should give you faith that if anything, like we shouldn't be gun-ho on just saying, oh, we got to win it in free agency. Like he's the type of dude he's saying like, yo, he can set us up with some young dudes that we can have on the cheap because they're on their rookie deal, and we'll still be able to compete at a high level. So, and then you can sprinkle in some free agents. You can sprinkle them in, and you can pay your own, which is very important as well. I think it's very important to pay your own too. The guys who have produced for you, because I think we've learned this with this organization in the past that we tend to overvalue the outside talent more than the talent that's inside that's kind of been doing it or have shown you that they've been doing it productive. We always look at the faults of the individuals in the room, but when we look outside, we always value that outside person. That's always been the Washington culture. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that dude was a free agent, I won, but the other dude was playing good football for you and has had good chemistry. You know what I mean? That's what kind of happened to Ryan Clark. You know what I mean? Back in the day. So I tend to kind of like look at I like when we take care of our own. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of it. So on the flip side, y'all, which players, I will be plural, which players wouldn't hurt your soul if they left this team when the free agents? What free agent player wouldn't hurt your soul if they left this team? George, I'm gonna start with you.
If either wide receiver whose last name is Brown left this team, I wouldn't be that bothered to be honest.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think if he's a free agent or not. Dorrance Armstrong. I'm not sure I'd be that bothered.
He's not free agent.
Okay, he's not free agent. Yeah, okay.
I think Farrell's a free agent. Isn't Farrell a free agent though?
Farrell's a free agent.
Yeah, Farrell's a free agent. That's not gonna bother me much. But yeah, I think if Diamond or Noah Brown wasn't here next year, I'm not gonna be that bothered.
Yeah, I like DJ Reed. Yeah, with that. What about you, Glenn?
Yeah, it's the obvious, man. St. Juice.
That's right. He is a free agent.
I didn't want to bring him up, honestly.
Right.
He's a free agent.
Want to bring him up.
Is that obvious?
Yeah, George, you're supposed to bring up the obvious, George. That's your fault, George.
Obvious. You know which one I really Washington's gonna have to make a decision. I think this is where they're gonna have to make a decision between Austin Seibert, because he was Seibert, who was great, right? Who won games for this team, and Zane Gonzalez, who helped this team get to the second round of playoffs. Both of these guys are free agents. Do you bring one of those guys back? I wouldn't be mad either which way, if neither one. But I tell you who else, it wouldn't bother me none if Derek Forrest doesn't come back. So
I like Taj. Taj be vibing me, man. Taj be vibing me. I know it's an unpopular decision, but I'm with Taj. It wouldn't hurt my feelings at all.
He had 10 sacks, bro.
Yeah.
He had 10 sacks.
I'm gonna tell you why. He's part of the. I'm gonna tell you why.
Sacks.
It's okay.
I'm with you on this, Wole.
Yeah, because he's part of the reason why the run defense is so bad. He's part of the reason. He's not versatile enough. He doesn't even set the edge at all. We talk about other players who used to be here that we used to be. He's worse than them in certain edges. That's the reason why.
I mean, our defensive ends in both losses against Philadelphia got their butt handed to them.
Yeah, and 10 sacks, where like some games were good and some games weren't. It's like if you're gonna be a 10 sack dude, I like constant pressure. Some games you're MIA. Like you have a game when you're doing good, but some games you go MIA. I ain't mad. I'm putting it this way. He's 31. It's not a knock. Again, I'm telling you, I'm not. If he comes back, if he comes back, that's great. I'm not
right.
I'm just telling you, if he leaves, I'm not gonna be like, dang, we lost Dante Fowler. Because I want to be real with you. That point about the run, him setting the edge, and then secondly, to be real with you, it's the age difference for the money you're gonna probably try to get for a 10 sack dude. Like you're 30, you'll be 31 in all. He'll be 31 in August. So how much money is he trying to go? Is he gonna get in the market for a 10 sack dude? Why would I be willing when you can look in the market and probably try to find somebody else who is younger, and you can probably get more money off of it.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, age. Oh, he said yeah.
I'm trying to look at his salary, see what he made this year before we good.
Yeah.
Let me see what he tried to make this. Dante Fowler made 3.2 mil.
So he's gonna get more than that because he's 10.5 sacks. I'm saying
that guy. So he made 3.2 mil. So he's looking at maybe 6 mil.
No, probably more than that.
5, more than that.
Probably more than that for 10 sacks, 10.5.
All right.
So I'm not paying and that's you only give him a 2 year. Like I'm not doing that for now. For me personally, I wouldn't. But again, I don't know how much Adam Peters is looking into it. Like, because you can draft the edge dudes. That's nothing. This is the thing. Like with Indian Lake, Ohio, totally agree.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with him on
draft like a late first. Yeah. So why would I can do that? Like, and because a lot of that stuff again too, some of them sacks aren't there. See, look at it. Here you go. Like I agree with this, Paul. 10 sacks giving up over 300 yards versus the Eagles.
Yeah, I've seen a few mocks that have had us taking an edge. At 29. So.
It goes back to like that's what I want as an edge. Personally, that's what I want over anything. But I would say but that edge got to be the best defensive player on the board, though. Like I think Washington's in a position where they don't need on defense. They don't need to choose by position. They need to choose who's the best. I don't think they're in a place where they can say, okay. So this is my point too. When you said this, see. If I'm going to overpay, See, this is my point, Glenn. That's why I'm fouling. If I'm going to overpay an older dude, this is Taj's point. If we're going to pay an older defense, an edge rusher, I sign Khalil Mack. That's what I agree with. If I'm going to go over, like if I'm going to look at the board, right, and I want an aging. I won't say aging. I don't like using that term. He's 31. He ain't old. So I don't like saying that because I'm
right.
Make it sound like, dude, I'm in my 40s. Me calling somebody old is ridiculous at 30. That's ridiculous. but like in football, like if I'm gonna pay somebody in his 30s, I'm gonna pay the better player. I'm not gonna pay a dude who just came off a 10.5 sack year, and this is one of his better years in a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like he's been killing throughout. Like this is, he's been.
This is one of his better years.
This is one of his best years. Like truth be told, he's been underperforming dude. Like when he came out of he went to Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Or Clemson or Georgia. He went to Georgia.
I think he went to
Dante Fowler's Clemson or Georgia.
Dante Fowler's Florida.
Sorry, Fowler. Thank you, George. Florida. So like coming out of Florida, he was supposed to be like it. So truth be told, he's underachieved in terms of his NFL career where he's supposed to be. He's had a couple good years with it. I believe he had a good year with Dan Quinn before in Atlanta, right?
And then he
had a good year with Dan Fowler and with Atlanta. So I'm just saying, like, he hasn't really performed other than being with Dan Quinn. So right. I'm just like, he's not for me, there's other people in the market. There's people other in the market that you could target, you know what I'm saying? That may not be that may be really good, but may not be as expensive. Like they'll be more expensive, but not as expensive in terms of an edge rushing market. Put it that way.
Right.
That makes sense.
I'm not sad the fact if he leaves. Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out the fact that he did have a.
Oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
He made some big
plays too. He made some big plays.
He makes some plays.
Yeah, I ain't gonna take that away from him.
There's another name on this list as I look at the free agents.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys Cornelius Lucas? No one
I
said
wouldn't see.
No one said Cornelius Lucas. Would you be sad if Cornelius Lucas left?
George, you want to go first? Go ahead. I'll let you go, George.
This is tough because I guess my question is, what is our plan in terms of free agency and the draft and the line? Like, are we looking at Brandon Coleman and giving him another chance to tackle? Or are we kicking him inside like a lot of people have been talking about? And then we're going to have to get at least one more tackle, maybe even two. Because I'll be honest, if we're going to kick Brandon Coleman inside, then I think I'd like to have Cornelius Lucas back, even though he had injuries this year. And then look at drafting a left tackle in the draft, maybe in round 2, maybe even in round 1. We're going to be, because that's what it comes down to is, because Santiago Ban says Coleman is a guard. It's what a lot of people said when he was drafted.
Yeah.
There were questions about both. He had some good games at tackle.
Yeah, he got some games where he got exposed too. His footwork is bad. His footwork was terrible. There's some games he got exposed. His footwork
was terrible, and he got his ass handed to him in the playoffs. So that's the thing is, like, I'm trying not to let the playoffs color too much of my opinion because we got 19 games to look at. We're not just going to focus on the 3 that they had at the end of the season. But it is something you have to consider because you played Tampa, Detroit, and Philadelphia, and then those are probably 3 of your 4 or 5 best teams in this conference next year.
Right.
So you got to worry about them, even though they beat 2 of them.
Yeah. You may have and there's some other teams that probably be better off. You know how it is. You know how football works. There'll be a team that comes back that struggled last year.
Maybe the Falcons, now that they got Penix in there.
Maybe Falcons. It could be. I mean, I hate to say it could be the Cowboys. Could be better football team. It could be a lot of teams. Bro. I know. Hey, man. I'm just keeping the bean. I hate that team, but I just keep the bean. It could be anybody for real. I mean, Minnesota may be better with JJ. You don't know. Actually, they will.
That's a sticky situation.
No, it's not. JJ better than that dude. JJ way better. I don't even know why I act like he's not. JJ is way better than Darnold. JJ.
No, the midnight struck on Darnold.
Because my man George is ready. He's ready.
In Detroit.
The free agent market is strong on guards. I believe it. Guards are like, truth be told, like you can draft a guard late,
including a certain ex football team guard is apparently a free agent.
I know. That one Brandon Scherf.
Yeah.
I know. Paul asked me that. Paul asked me, Paul, I'm gonna give you your flowers, Brody. He said he asked me, would I re-sign Brandon Sheriff? And I said, you know what? Yeah, I would. The only reason why, because Cosme's gonna be out. Like I'm redshirting Cosme. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm redshirting Cosme.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL at the end of the season. That means mid-season he'll be trying to rush back. Mid-season he'll probably be back like 4 games, but he won't be himself. I'd rather send him out throughout the whole year. You can sign Brandon Sheriff, play him in his position. Should be told. I mean, what's Nick Allegretti? What is his what's his year? What is the year in his deal?
He got 2 more. I think
2 year deals.
Allegretti got another year too, like next year too.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no issue signing him, and then I would have no issue doing that. Or on the flip side, if you do want to move Coleman and guard, you can do that, but you definitely need to have like a plan at left tackle. You know what I'm saying?
You let Trent Scott go, who replaced him.
He's a free agent too. Yeah, he can. I mean, he's older, so he can go. Like no disrespect.
Okay.
I love my HBCU dudes, man, but yeah, he can go. He'll probably have to go. I mean, you know what? He cheap, so I'm on the home. All right,
Indian Lake, Ohio. You keep that to yourself.
Nah, see, so this a thing out there. There's a thing out there. He's right. There's a rumor out there. So look, I'm here for it now.
No, you
brought the beast out. You know what? You know why? See, you know what, Glenn? No. You know why I'm gonna go on you, Glenn, for this one? Because you try to fight for Dante Fowler. Trent. Hey, Chase said the edge way better than Dante Fowler.
Hey,
I'm stopping the run. Way better.
Fowler follows a scheme. Chase does his own thing.
Way better than Fowler.
Watch him play in New Orleans. This guy.
What you mean? The game he killed us? Killed us?
No. Big guy. Besides us,
he was waiting because he was waiting to hit on that game, but he was unfortunate.
He was motivated to play against.
He was waiting to hit on that game. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to do that.
Yeah,
tell him, Glenn. Tell him about it, Glenn.
He was motivated to play with us.
You was waiting to hit on Chase that game, and Chase had a good game.
Hey, he was motivated to play. He was motivated to play watch the Commanders.
Hey, you know what? Glenn ain't for it. Hey, I'm actually for it because I know he's cheap too, and he's on the cheap. So from
I'm with Glenn.
No,
it's okay.
There's too much bad tape from New Orleans out there. He looked like he didn't give a damn half the time.
We don't do retreads. I tell people all the time. I tell my daughter, you break up somebody, don't go back with them again. So if you cut somebody and it was your organization, you don't bring them back. That marriage is over.
Indian Lake, Ohio. This is unfair. Look, Indian Lake, Ohio. There's 2. Look, I'm telling you right now. I agree. He definitely has to. I'm with you. I know you. I know you trying. I know where you going with it. I am with you. Jordan and Glenn are not, but I am with you.
This is unfair, what I'm about to say, but I think it is true. Chase Young is as much the emblem for Ron Rivera's failure as anybody else that was there the last 4 years. The only other one I'd put up there is Sam Howell. No. We are not going back to that. We do not want to go back to that.
The reason that's unfair, I'm going to tell you, because let me tell you why it's unfair. Unfair. Because the injury.
No, it is unfair. I agree with that.
The injury did that to him more than anything. If you're going to use that as an example, that's more of the injury, because the injury, you didn't get the straight, real Chase Young. If you're going to do that, the injury hindered that. Let's see.
I like this one. Paul said, "Hey,
what do you say?"
Mekhi Becton, I wouldn't mind bringing Mekhi Becton to Washington if Philly don't sign him.
Wait. The guard tackle?
Yeah.
The one Becton. That he went to Virginia, right? Did he go to Virginia? Where he go to?
He went Hollis Springs High School.
Okay.
He went to he played.
We were supposed to draft him though. Where was the folks wanted us to draft him?
Yeah,
the Jets drafted him, and he was always hurt with them.
That's what the Jets kid. That's the kid the Jets got. Okay, gotcha.
Jets got very athletic.
He played for the Eagles.
Yes, he's the Eagles.
He busted a bunch of players' heads in that championship game.
Yes,
I hate to say it, but he laid some wood out there.
He laid some wood. Very athletic, good, smart kid. No problems. I wouldn't mind coming to Washington.
I like Reddick. Reddick would be a good one. I like Reddick. I do like Reddick.
Now
Reddick is better than He's
I'll bring Montez Sweat. Hey Taj, I can get with that.
Not Montez Sweat. Nah, Philly
Sweat.
Josh Sweat.
Josh Sweat. Oh no.
Reddick. To me, Reddick, you could argue even more than the wide receiver 2 that everybody wants. Reddick is the guy they got to go and get, because they need, as much as we liked the way our linebackers played this year, Luvu and Wagner, their lack of speed kind of got exposed in that championship game. and they need somebody that can get to where they need to go quick.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's true. I give it Paul Dodge. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you know what? If you say it that way, Saji, I'm over. I don't need Lucas either. The way that makes sense. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, Taj.
That makes sense. Like, there's no need to because he plays so valuable. Yeah, he's not a starter. He plays a good role, but yeah, it's time to to ante up for real. Nah, I'm with that. I can't deny that. I'm with that. And plus, you got younger dudes too, that's in your system that you're trying to cultivate to have that type of role anywhere.
Right. Your boy Mike Davis is gone.
Mike Davis, the corner, he can go.
He's gone.
He can definitely go. I mean, definitely. All right, so this is what I got for y'all too. Jordan, I'm gonna start with you. All right, here we go. In this order, man. You got to pick one. Resign, one of each. Resign, release, let walk, trade.
Resign Jeremy Chin.
Okay.
Trade Deron Payne.
Okay, Deron Payne. Okay.
Ooh.
If I can add restructure in there, can we restructure Jonathan Allen? Because I think we got to do that, or do something with his contract.
He's not free. I would say that's when you gonna restructure. I'll give you restructure. All right, restructure.
Cut Dorrance Armstrong.
You don't like Dorrance Armstrong?
I think we need a whole new set of.
Okay, I'm with you, George. I'm with you. Go ahead. Okay.
And then we let him walk.
Yeah.
God.
One dude you want to let walk from free agency. Just let go.
I think I got, like I said, I think I gotta let Diami Brown. Adios.
Over Noah. Wow. Okay. All right.
Even over Noah. Although I would say goodbye to both of them.
All right, that's your number one. Okay, that's cool. And you said I would keep. Hey, Glenn, what about you?
All right, first thing was sign, right?
Yeah, sign.
You got to sign Bobby Wagner.
All right, Bobby Wagner's one. I'm with you.
All right. Cool. Second one was release.
Release. Oh, you release, yeah. Either way, so say you know the order. It's cool. Release is good.
When you got to release, you got to be able to release Noah Iganagami. You got to get rid of him.
All right, Noah. Is he a free agent though? Is he?
He's free agent. He's free agent.
No, release. No, release. Like someone's on contract. Release.
Oh, somebody that's on contract.
That's on contract. Let him go.
Shoot. Somebody's on contract that you gotta let go.
Like Sally, so people get released.
Yeah. Man, somebody on set contract that you gotta let go. To me, dang, that's a hard one.
Because someone's gonna get released.
I know somebody's gonna get released. Right? If I had to really release somebody, shoot, it would have to be Marshawn Lattimore.
All right, so some people that way. That's true. Some people are like that. Go ahead. That's why I did that. Go ahead. I like that. Go ahead.
I would release Lattimore. I said resign. We did release. What's the other one?
All right. Let walk for creative. Trade. Go trade.
I would have to trade one of the guys in the middle, Jonathan Allen or Deron Payne.
Which one, though? Which one? You got to say one. You got to pick one.
I would trade Jonathan Allen.
Okay, you would trade Allen. Okay.
I would trade Allen. The last one was.
All right. Well, now you let walk.
Let walk. Right, I already said walk.
No, you don't. No. You didn't walk. You cut. Let walk. Which one of free agents you'll let walk? Which one of free agents you'll let walk?
Free agent let walk. I'll let Trent Scott walk.
All right, that's cool. Trent Scott. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna read some of these before I do mine. Paul said, resign Wagner, release Eckler. Austin Eckler, trade Jonathan Allen.
Okay, I like that.
All right, definitely. Indiana Lakers definitely trade Jonathan Allen.
I can see that too. I think that makes sense.
Jonathan Allen. Oh, he said, "Oh shoot, gotta let Wagner go." Okay.
Indian.
Interesting. See, I like this. I like this.
Give me a reason why you let Bobby Wagner go.
I like that though. I like it.
I mean, I know why. I think I know where they're coming from. I think.
He said.
I think it's.
I like this too.
I think it's what happened in that championship game informs a lot of this. Wagner it's not all his fault, but he got caught up in the wash. Couple of the first run of the game. Wagner's trying to get over there to fill in the hole, and he gets caught up in the wash and doesn't get over there. And there's Barkley, and away we go.
Whoa, I got you. His age too slow. He gets too slow. I got you.
I trade B-Rob, resign with Chris Rodriguez. He said he would keep Armstrong. He need Armstrong.
Armstrong, yeah, he need like a disagreement with me on that one.
All right, so here's me. This is what I would do. All right, I would keep Bobby Wagner. So I'm with you, Glenn. I would keep Bobby Wagner. I would. You know what? I'm gonna do different. We all kept Bobby Wagner, so I'm gonna change it. I'll keep De'Ami Brown. I would. So I said release. I would release. I like Marshawn, so I'm not gonna say I release Marshawn. I'm not gonna do that. They say you release Doris Armstrong. That's tough. There's so many players that aren't on this defense. Percy Butler's on contract.
Yeah,
I release Percy Butler. He's a free agent.
No, he's on contract.
Either way,
he's on contract. I release Percy Butler because I don't think he's that good for real. Yeah. I release Percy Butler. Sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but I would. Let walk. I would let Dante Fowler walk. I would trade. Damn, he's gonna hurt my soul because I do like him too. But I'm starting to see it. Damn, Mo ain't on the show. I would trade Deron Payne. I would. I think Jonathan Allen has outplayed him. He's outplayed him even in this short stint.
Yeah,
I trade Deron Payne, and because his postseason, Jonathan Allen's postseason run has been dope.
But I look at without Deron Payne, what this team has been when he didn't play.
Right? They've been bad with him. Haven't been great with him either. Not to be mean, and I like y'all know I'm pro Deron Payne, and George, when you're gonna restructure, I like that one. Restructure it, but it's on the high side. I restructure Terry's contract. He has a year coming up. He needs more money. He'll need more money.
Well, and that was the other thing I wanted to ask is that I've seen a couple of different people say, okay, a big Terry McLaurin extension is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah.
So that because that's the other thing. It's like we do have a lot of cap space, but in terms of signing new players, I don't think it's not going to be as much as what people are saying because a new Terry contract is going to eat some money up. Let's say they get a Chin deal done and a Tressway deal done before they hit free agency. That's going to be some chunks. We'll see what happens about restructures and trades and all that. I think something to me has to happen with one or both of those defensive tackles. Something's got to happen one way or the other.
And the only reason I'm saying trade one of those only players with value, so I can't
No, I agree with you.
That's the reason why.
I agree with you.
That's the reason why.
I mean, we've got to either trade or restructure, or maybe restructure one, trade the other. We got to do something with the two of them.
Timothy, resign, Tress, trade, Payne, release Noah. Was Noah's a free agent? Noah's a free agent.
Yeah,
you just let him walk. Yeah, I got you. I would release it. I like that too. Both kickers. You know what, Paul? That's true. I would release both kickers though. That's what I would do because I would actually draft a kicker.
Well, I definitely with you there. I have another question about Lattimore. Is it possible that we give Lattimore the offseason and training camp?
Yeah, definitely.
But if it's clear that there's a culture fit issue that we just cut him at camp.
I think cut him at training camp. I don't think it'll be a culture thing. I think Lattimore will be fine. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think he'll be fine. Okay. I don't think it'll be a culture thing. I just think that he's gonna have to complete a whole offseason. Because I do think you need guys with a dog with attitude, a dog mentality.
Yeah, you do. But you gotta be.
I just think he came into the season too. He just came into the season a little too. He came a little late in the season to get used to everything. I think Lattimore will be fine. So I understand. When I said that, obviously I was frustrated on the post game, but also at the same time, I acknowledge what he had to deal with, and he's not 100% dealing with a hamstring, rushing back. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it.
Playing against somebody who's physical, he has to get who's against him as hurt.
And he'll be better, the guys. He'll be better against those AJ Browns of the world, next season. He will be. We didn't get the best Lattimore, even in his downgrade of his, even though he's not the same Marshawn Lattimore that we've seen when he was 22, 23. But we didn't get the best version of his age now. You know what I'm saying? Because he came in the mid part. He came late in the season, not even mid part of the season, bro. He came in late in the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We looked at the number on the back of we looked at the name in the back of the jersey, and we were automatically thinking oh, he's gonna be him again. He's gonna be that 20-year-old Marshawn Lattimore, which wasn't fair to him. but it is what it is.
No,
Oh man, appreciate you. Hey, appreciate you. Great. Oh man, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
appreciate you in India, Lake, Ohio, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you see, y'all laughed at me when I said Lattimore would give us one good game and that'd be it. Y'all thought I was joking. Maybe I jinxed it. I said y'all laughed at me. I said he would give us one good game and everybody would
say though. He said one good game.
Yeah. He gave us one good game and he was back on the shelf again.
Yeah, he's worth the risk though. Yeah, it can't have Alec. Yeah.
No, and I don't disagree with you, Paul, but you don't want. I mean, this is again. I know what I'm going to sound like, but crashing out like that in a championship situation is a little jarring for me. I know you can't have choir boys, but you can't lose your rag like Lattimore did, arguably in 2 playoff games, because he kind of lost it a little bit against Tampa too. He kind of had himself. He kind of was having a few issues there too. It's like, dude, we. Okay, let me say this. We think we're going to be back. I think we're going to be back in that position next year. Washington is planning to be back in that conference championship game next year.
Right.
And there can't be a repeat of that behavior in a championship situation.
I hope to be back. Put it this way: it's hard to get. It's hard to get to the Super Bowl. It's hard to get to that position. I hope that we get to that situation. I hope. Look at
Jalen Ramsey. Look at Jalen Ramsey when he was first. That's a young Jalen Ramsey, right? Jalen Ramsey's act that way.
That's true.
I look at it this way. I think everybody needs a Dennis Rodman.
I agree with that too.
I think everybody.
But your winning plays.
I like this.
You have to outweigh.
I ain't gonna lie to you. This is why I do. I talked about this. I think with my brother, like this right here. That's Adam Peters. You look for Adam Peters. The connections. Ward is a good one. But go ahead, Glenn. But you can still go after Ward. With Marshawn here, that doesn't even change anything. But go ahead, Glenn. I don't want to cut you off.
Bro. No, just no. You good. I said just everybody needs a Dennis Rodman, right? You need somebody who is that bad boy, but that bad boy has to be reeled in under a Dan Quinn and a Joe Witt. You can't let him go. You can't let him go. For lack of a better term, AJ Brown on you, right? You gotta be able to have that control aggression, reel it in a little bit, and let him play his game. We saw that only against big physical marquee receivers. You don't see that much against the average guy. I'm not gonna say average, but you know what I'm saying. The small receivers. You saw that against Mike Evans. You saw that against AJ Brown. You didn't see that against Amon St. Brown. Sorry, you didn't see that. He was able to lock that down. So that's what Lattimore has to grow up and get more mature and not get frustrated when he's getting beat. Get frustrated when they picking on him or throwing the ball his way. You want to be the dog? Hey, be the dog and stop it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, just better safety help around him would be like, safety play around him would help. You know what I mean? Like the guy over the top, guys who have better instincts to help him out around him. Because now everybody's not in today's NFL. Everybody ain't on the island. Folks ain't on an island for real. This ain't Revis. This ain't back in the day with Revis. Or back in the day with prime time. We growing up with Dion, or for us, Darryl Green and folks like that, like Charles Rod Woodson. This folks, sometimes you need good safety play.
Yeah,
our safeties need more range to help them out too, as well. Or how about both corners, all corners for real? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but I'm with you though, Glenn. You do need a guy with a dog mentality. You know what I'm saying? But Rodman gets Rodman knew what he was doing. He was under control of his emotions. He knew what he was doing. He's playing mind games out there. Laddie just needs to, for those the games that we're referring to, like the AJ Brown games, and AJ Brown game, and both games actually, AJ Brown games, and the Mike Evans game. He just needs to just he can still play with that fire. I ain't trying to take that away from him, because obviously that makes him. But there's a place where you can keep certain certain things bottled up a little bit, like certain things, not all. Because I don't want him to not show his emotions. I think he needs to show his emotions. But when it comes to a detriment of the team or entertaining anything, but to fairness though, AJ Brown got away with a lot of crap in that game, with his helmet. So I do get what he's coming from.
He did.
I do get where he's coming from. You know what I'm saying? It is hard when you already got that personality, and it's somebody getting over, and the referees letting him get over. It's hard. Like I'm not going to act like I don't know what. I honestly I don't know how I would respond in that situation.
Yeah,
When you letting the dude knock my helmet off, and you didn't, I'm the second person you finding me. It's hard, man. I ain't gonna hold you. It's hard, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I think who was that? Darius Slay, who got ejected from the Philly game.
Oh, like Gardner.
Gardner.
When Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the second Philly game got
second
Philly got ejected.
Yeah,
you know he got ejected for doing nothing, for talking, right?
He said something. He must have said something real.
It wasn't nothing if Diami Brown punched him in the head and he's the one.
Yeah,
he's the one that
he must have said something real disrespectful.
Real ignorant, right? Real ignorant.
Yeah.
So again, and we look how that turned out for Philly because he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I see where George is pointed at. He doesn't want that to be the case for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Down.
Yeah, that's all. I get it. No, he's right. You know, he's right. He's right. Reading some of these comments. I think so too. I think Laddie was playing hurt.
It's probably so.
I think we underestimate how hard it is to play for a new team mid-season. I agree with you.
I agree with that.
Todd. I think also, man, like dog coming back. He took him that long to come back from a hamstring. Obviously, the hamstrings are hard to play with. I know it's hard to hoop with, so I can only imagine playing football with. Man, like and then you're going against an AJ Brown who runs about like a 4.3, 4.4.
Yeah,
like a 4.4.
Built like a Sherman tank.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it ain't easy, man. There's like for instance, there's a reason why Lattimore wasn't on it like a Jamison Williams,
right?
And when they played Detroit, you know what I mean? Like that was more Mikey. You know what I mean? So I get it. Like I get it. I'm not going to act like I'm with you, Taj. I do think he was kind of dealing with an injury, but yeah, this one. Yeah. So wait. So George, you said cut Laddie, right? You said Trey. You on mute? Or was that Glenn?
I said cut him.
You say so Glenn. You said cut Laddie.
Yeah, that's a good.
Okay. Yeah, I want to keep Lattimore, but I'm wondering if there's some kind of an issue. And we get to the end of training camp, maybe he's one of those. Maybe that's the situation. We let him have the off season. Yeah. We go through the camps with him. For whatever reason, there's something that this doesn't fit, and then we say, okay, at the end of camp, we say, okay, goodbye, and then go from there.
Glenn, why like Glenn for you, like cutting Laddie? I do want to like get your like. Do you believe that he can't get better?
I believe
he feel like he's done. Do you feel like he's done?
I feel like the age. I think. Okay. I believe he can get better. It's how he does rehab. Okay. But I think you have young guys who are able to do just a good enough job, right? And if you get another young corner and bring him into the system, I think he can do well. One thing Dan Quinn has been able to do wherever he went was be able to get young corners to play well.
That's true. I agree with you. But here's the thing. I feel like now I'm like, I ain't wrong. I ain't mad at you, Glenn. He's only 28, though.
Yeah. He's only 28. He's so, like I said, the question was, you got to let somebody go.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you, Glenn. I'm not. Look,
do I think he can fit into the system with a full year? Sure. I like George's thing, see what he does in the summertime. But again, you have to do what Phil Jackson did too. And I got to use Dennis, that you're on a short leash. Mm-hmm. This organization wants to be, this is a standard in the organization. Yeah, I have no problem with guys talking, right? I have no problem with guys jawing. I do have a problem if you fighting and you have the same stuff that you did when you was in New Orleans, and you getting suspended from games and things of that nature, because it does not help the organization, does not help the team. Mm-hmm. And when you become a hindrance to the team, then you got to go. I'm not even talking about the playoff game, because I think a lot of that stuff in the playoff game was foolish. I think that referee, the referee crew was looking for stuff.
Yeah. They were just looking for him.
Yeah,
they were just looking for him.
That crew there. At 28, I just need him to be able to focus and know what it is about. I don't think he really fully coming in mid-season, like Taj said. I don't think he really fully bought into what this brotherhood was or what this organization was, because he wasn't there from the beginning. And I think that's where the disconnect is at. So,
no, that's fair. That's fair. So, George, you said you would let walk Diami Brown. I want to know why. Like, I'm interested because Diami's been like a fan favorite for a lot of folks. Is the fumble really play a big part for you in terms of saying, you know what, he can go?
It's part of it. It's just the fact that, and maybe it's the fact that he didn't get the chance sooner. Because when we had this discussion after his first game in the playoffs, I think we were frustrated that he didn't get the chance sooner. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at this receiving core outside of Terry McLaurin just did not give us enough over the 19 games.
Okay.
Over the 19 games of the season, this receiving core, there was not enough talent around Terry McLaurin. And Jaden Daniels did absolutely amazing to do what he did, considering the receivers he had to throw to. And how many times there were plenty of games where the tight ends and the running backs were catching more balls than the receivers not named McLaurin. And sometimes they were even catching more than McLaurin.
Right.
So
Yeah, I agree.
when you've got that backdrop to me, I'm not going to argue with whether it's T. Higgins, whether it's trading for Garrett Wilson, whether it's some other free agent wide receiver, and drafting one, because I would absolutely bet we're going to draft a receiver, even if it's, say, round 3. I'm not going to be opposed to overhauling this wide receiver room and having McLaurin and then this new receiver, Luke McCaffrey, and that's our receiving core for next year. I'm not going to be opposed to that because
I have a counter to
such a
that.
good quarterback, and we've got Terry McLaurin, and they need help.
I have a counter to that because I think you mentioned his name a couple of times, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm being fair because I actually, he grew on me a little bit, but then it was like it went backwards in terms of being a receiver. Why? I guess why are you so high on Luke McCaffrey? It seems like you're high on Luke McCaffrey. Why are you so high?
Well, it's not. No, it's not even that. It's just that we drafted him in round 3.
Okay, I got you, George.
That's it.
I got you.
If this was his 3rd or 4th year, and this is what he was giving us, it'd be goodbye.
Yeah.
Because he was a rookie, and I guess the other thing is, I'm still trying to understand why we did what we did last preseason with him, and then started him in game 1, and I don't know. It's like the coaching staff couldn't make up their mind on him.
He did start in the regular season. You're right, in the first game.
Yeah, and it just, and I'm only saying Luke because it's year 2 coming up. If he'd finished year 2, I could understand saying goodbye to him because he hasn't given us much yet. It's the question of it's his 2nd year. They saw something in him to draft him in round 3 and give him some opportunities early in the season. I want to give him another chance before I definitely say, well, that was a waste of a draft pick.
Got you.
But everybody else, I'm not wedded to them. And look, we have to remember something, and we said this last week. There might be another 20, 25 new players here. There's going to be significant roster turnover. Got to find those numbers somewhere.
No, I agree. Paul said Terry and Diami do look great together. I agree. I totally agree.
I agree with that.
I think people that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at it in the postseason and where you could sports is such a funny thing. I think a lot of people look at the stat line and say, oh, this person isn't effective, or they look at or this person was effective or is effective, or they don't see like the limited amount of reps that person got, or the plays that person didn't get, or if that person got open, did he get the ball? You know what I'm saying? Because receivers can get open, but they don't get the ball. Like they could be open on this route, but they weren't the first read, they weren't the second read. You know what I mean? So it's all dictated on who throws you the football, or if the OC scheming for you to get the ball is the first option. We saw in the postseason with Diami was utilized a lot as a first option, and you saw with the benefits of that. You know what I mean? Because I think Coach Lombard said a screen merchant. Well, I would argue Coach Lombard, Diami was more than a screen dude in the postseason. So I don't think you can use that as an argument. He was getting the deep end routes. He was getting the go routes. He got almost every route that you imaginable in this postseason.
Would you
you know what I mean? A thing that we talked about, with Diami when he first got here a couple years when he was only running one route. Now he utilized multiple routes. He was utilizing the screen game, the deep ends, comebacks, posts, go routes, everything. So I would just say like in the postseason, which I do agree, like you didn't get a body, you didn't get those type of plays for him in the regular season, but you did get those type of plays for him towards the end of the season. If you really peep game, like Candy likes to say, use your clues. If you peep game during the end of the season to the postseason, Diami started to get featured a lot more. So it hurt him when he had that hamstring injury. Then it took him out. Then he got to play that Cowboy. He got to play the last game of the season with like he got to play the Cowboys game. So you got to see him, see Diami play a little bit more. So like if you look at it, he was starting to actually he was trending upwards.
He
was trending upwards. Then the hamstring hit. Then the Cowboys game, he came back, played well in the Cowboys game. He got the Cowboys game. They went at him a lot. They targeted him a lot into the postseason. So I do think that if you want to like look at how things were starting to go for Diami, he was trending upwards. But go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, I think he was trending upwards. That's why they got rid of Don Dotson, right? Mm-hmm. Because they had a Diami Brown. Here's a question, and his name been rumored to Washington. He's talked about it. Would you keep Diami Brown over Tyreek Hill?
What, Tyreek Hill?
I don't want no part of Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek,
you want to know Tyreek Hill? No, I'm taking Tyreek Hill. I'm not gonna be foolish.
Washington name has been thrown around by Tyreek Hill as a landing place. Buffalo has been another place for him.
Oh, is that true? Is a landing place for real? Or is that just like
where he wants to be? Yeah, he mentioned Washington. He mentioned Washington.
He can come here.
Buffalo.
He can definitely come here. Sorry, George. I'm sorry. I'll take Tyreek Hill. But go ahead, George. Why wouldn't you take Tyreek Hill, bro?
No, that kind of crash. That he's when the going gets tough, he gets going. He's running from Miami. He's got all this money from him, and he's gonna go out and say what he said at the end of the season. No, that's not gonna fit this culture either. And there are plenty of good receivers we can find. Maybe none of them are as fast as him. No.
Let me answer Coach.
No, I don't like what he did in Miami at all. That really bothered me.
Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna answer Coach's question. So the question is, do you base your evals on the playoffs or on the big picture? On the big picture, because it's like trending upwards. When you're it's more trending upwards. Like like anything. Like it's like if you're judging a rookie quarterback, if he started the season off slow and then he ended the season off strong, I'm gonna tell you that this rookie quarterback is trending upwards.
Trending upwards.
You know what I mean? Like I'll use Sam Howell as an example. Like in the beginning of the season, last year. He was looking good. He looked better. He looked all right, and he looked all right. Then towards the end, he was trending backwards. So you were like, "Oh yeah, he ain't it." So yeah, it's big picture. Like once you start trending, and especially, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna add more points to it because you're starting to trend in the postseason, and you're doing it in the postseason when competition is more difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Just like Jayden, like to me, Jayden, he was trending upwards, had a snag. Then at the end of the season, he turned up even more. He turned up and then played well in the postseason and turned up even more. So it lets you know that Jayden gonna be definitely fine. So it's all about how you trend, how the trend goes. You know what I mean? Shoot, we knew Terry was him. I feel like Terry in the postseason was different. I felt like Terry was different. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. Like I feel like it's all about trending.
Folks cussing, letting people know.
I'm serious. It's a trend. Like it's just like anything. It's like the stock market. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your trend? How are you improving? And he was improving. So, to answer your question, it's a big picture, but it's all about trending upwards. So,
it's a big picture.
And like I says, I think we got Allen's best year. Something Jonathan Allen. I'm not even sure if any team would trade for him in that salary. I just don't know. I don't think he's best years. I think Jonathan Allen. I'll be real with you. I think Jonathan Allen played. What I liked about Jonathan Allen, just like we talked about Marshawn, this man came back from a pec and gave you that. That tells me that like he's got a lot left in the tank because if he did that with a pec injury, he ain't 100%, bro. To do that, the same thing I use about, if I'm gonna be fair, the same thing I use about Marshawn. Saying that Marshawn came in mid part of the season with a hamstring. Jonathan Allen came with a pec. Usually that's you out for the year. You ain't coming back.
True.
And that man played it at that level. Nah, I ain't gonna do that to him.
And remember, and Dan Quinn made the point of talking about Jonathan Allen and him coming back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
That impressed something on Dan Quinn, I think.
Sometimes we gotta put ourselves in the athlete's shoes, and you gotta think of if you play any sport, I don't care what sport it is. And you come back off an injury, like you still kind of not yourself, and you can play at a high level, like you're gonna be proud of yourself, and you're gonna say like you're gonna know that you could be even better if you're healthy.
Yeah,
like that's just natural. You know what I'm saying? I'm like he was hurt and arguably was the best player on the D line.
True. He came back in.
You know what I'm saying?
We saw a little bit of that in the Philly game.
You saw him. Man, he had some tackles for loss. He had some pressure at the middle against Jared Goff. I mean, you gotta. It is what it is, man. You get more. You get more, and you would though, because he's younger. You get more for Payne than Allen. But that contract is mean. That Payne contract is the only thing that. But you should get more for Payne than Allen. You should.
And that contract, Payne had one good year. Well, not one good year. He had that big year.
I mean, he had one amazing year. He has
one amazing year.
One amazing year.
One amazing year in Cap 10.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Because you expect him to be the year that he had. You expect him. I'm saying this when Mo's not here, so it's good though. It's good for me. You expect him to have like that dominant, like be dominant, like honestly,
Myles Garrett,
Carter for other Eagles.
Oh yeah, Carter for the Philly.
Yeah, he's got to be like him. You got to be like him. You get paid that much, you got to be like him.
Yeah,
that's not even the best dude in football, but he's approaching that level. He's not the best D tackle in football, but he's approaching that level. But he got to be like he got to be disruptive like him. To get that to look at that money and be like, all right, we ain't overpay you. Chauncey, the only reason I won't take Hill is because that with that Terry extension, does this team have the luxury of paying 2 receivers? Yeah, I agree. I don't think they do.
Yeah,
that's the reason why T. Higgins too. They don't got the money. They don't have the luxury because you still got to throw that money, huh?
You don't want to put all that money in receivers.
Yeah, because you got to put that money into the defense. That's what I keep saying. Like that money like it or not. Yeah, top 2. Yeah, he an animal. I ain't gonna hold you. He is definitely an animal. That money got to be allocated. That defense need to be taken care of. I don't know like your big money player should be on defense. I ain't gonna hold you. Whoever you like, if you can get if the best defensive player, I don't know who is on the market, who's gonna really be on the market, who's solid.
Right.
But I like the Mac. I like Mac. I do. I like Mac, but it's got to be on. He's an older player, but it got to be on a decent deal. I'm not overpaying Khalil Mack.
Not overpaying.
I don't think Khalil Mack had 10 sacks this year. I could be wrong though.
But Adam Peters don't overpay for anybody.
He should.
I haven't seen him overpay.
Well, you should if he's young enough. That's what, if it's a younger player, you should overpay for him.
Yeah, but older player, you're not gonna overpay for.
Yeah, you're not.
I want to see if how many teams would be kicking it? How many teams would be calling the Raiders about Max Crosby? And
we are. I think we're
Raiders
going to be one of them. We're going to call about Max Crosby. We're going to call about. I think we're going to call about Myles Garrett too.
Yeah,
I think we're going to make these calls. But just because you make these, but also on the flip side, I don't know. All right, put it this way. I'm such a believer from what I saw right now, and so from what I saw last draft, I'm such a believer in Adam Peters. I don't know if I want to trade draft picks.
No, that's fair.
No. At 29, you sitting in a good spot though.
Bro, look what he's done look at his draft picks. His draft picks are killing. Like, yeah, you could say that Luke McCaffrey, the jury's still out. I think Jordan McGee gonna be good, but the jury's still out. We haven't got to see him do what we think he's gonna do. Jazon Newton, we expect him to be good, so we don't. But we saw him flash, so he's on flash. So yeah, but to me, his draft is hitting. You can't tell me.
Well, if you go for the draft and you get younger players, that means you're building for the future. Right?
And then you got and that's less money you're spending too.
And less money you're spending.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's less.
Especially you do it on the defense side of the ball, that you get a good defense for less money.
And you still got, but I get it though. You still got Jaden on a rookie deal, so you want to take advantage of it. I get that too.
Because when that rookie deal is up, dog.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I agree with you. Well, you spend the money on defense and draft talent on offense. I would do that. Yeah. I'd be like that. But the only thing that what the market dictates on the defense, what's the market for defensive players? Who's out there on defense? Because I'm gonna be real with you, good defensive players aren't released. Like a good defense, what we need, like a great defense, a good edge rusher, isn't gonna be released. Like you're not gonna. I know the Cowboys do, like the D tackle. Everybody has us getting him. He's Nigerian. They got us getting the dude from what's his name? He played for the Cowboys. They got us getting him. Word is that we're rumored to get him, the D tackle.
The Newseum?
Yeah. We're rumored to get him. That's when I heard that, I was like, oh, one of them D tackles are definitely leaving. What's up, man? Rob, what's going on? Keep Crowder. He will be cheap and he's good in the spot. Yeah, I would keep Crowder, period. I'm paying DJ Reed. DJ Reed DJ Reed's the cornerback for the Jets. Yeah. I get him. But yeah, he played nickel. Don't he play inside? He played nickel, right? Mm-hmm. Is he a nickel? He a nickel corner though, right? No, he outside. He the opposite corner to Sauce. He's the opposite corner to Sauce. That's right. All right. Yeah, I'll get him. Yeah. Yeah. That's who. Yeah, exactly. Ojuwuzi. Yeah. Ojuwuza. Excuse me. I'm at OD. Let me spell it right. Ojuwuza. Oh yeah, Ojuwuza. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He play outside. Yeah, you're right. I know what. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would. De'Ami burned him in preseason though. I'm letting y'all know that in scrimmage he burned him though. De'Ami, I'm just saying he burned him. Y'all, he did. He burnt him. De'Ami burnt him in scrimmage and in that preseason game. I ain't lying.
No, I know you're not.
No, you're not. I'm just saying. He good though. He tiny. Nah, but he play physical though. I'll take physical. Hey, you talking about he tiny. If you can cover though, you can be tiny as you want. As long as you can cover, coach. You be tiny as long as you can cover. You know what I'm saying? So, but for no, we didn't talk about this, but let's talk about it before we end the show.
Okay.
The Commanders, man. We got Cliff. Cliff is with us. He's locked in. George, how do you feel? Cliff is locked in. How you feeling, brother?
I think we were all pretty confident that was going to be the case.
Yeah, after everybody left, everybody took their jobs. Yeah.
I mean, and not just that, he's on the Arizona money, so taking a head coaching job isn't going to increase that salary that much.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to sound crazy, but my hope is that if they can win and get to a Super Bowl next year, that Cliff could be like Spags is for the Chiefs. That he's like, man, I am not going to leave this quarterback. And he'll stay a long time, and we're going to do a lot of winning with Cliff and Jaden Daniels, JD5 together. And I know that sounds crazy, and I understand all that, but I'm hoping that we can convince Cliff to become like what Spags is for Kansas City, because Spags is never leaving them. Because why would he? He's got the best damn job in America. They draft him good players and get him good players. He's making multi-million dollars. He's only got to talk to the media one time a week, and he's only got to coach defense, which he's really good at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm hoping is that we can convince, by winning a lot next year, that we can convince Cliff to do the same thing with us.
Glenn, go ahead, buddy.
I agree. I think Cliff staying helps Jaden, helps the offense. I think helps Jaden's development and growth. You don't want Jaden Daniels to be like Jason Campbell, right? All those coordinators in 5 years, 5, 6 different coordinators. So you want Jaden to have consistency. You want this team to have consistency. That's why I said earlier, that's why you bring back a Marcus Mariota, right? That's why Marcus Mariota to me is a must that you have to sign, because you keep that band together, and look how much further they go. That would be one of the reasons why I would keep a De'Ami Brown, so he can grow within that system and let him have an offseason with Jaden. But Cliff Kingsbury makes this offense goes. And to me, I think it's great. I think he does a good job. There's another name that's out there, free agency, that you could probably get. I don't think you have to pay too much for him because he's coming off injury. That's a Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, he'll need to come home.
Bring him home.
He'll need to come home.
Bring him home.
No. Some people need to go home. You should come home.
Bring him home.
No. There's some players that should not come home. He should not come home. Listen to me. He should not come home.
I will say.
Paul. He should not come home. Like it's good for him not to be home.
As much as I love Stephon Diggs, he got himself alienated in Buffalo, and everybody was glad he left.
Did in Minnesota a little bit too. Minnesota too a little bit too.
A little bit.
All jokes aside, is a guy, a defensive name that we have not talked about. Maybe somebody did mention it in the chat and I missed it. Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, he did. Somebody mentioned him.
Somebody mentioned him in the chat, and we gave that the stamp of approval. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
great idea.
I think we talked about him last year, a couple years ago, that we wanted him to watch him.
A total rebuild. You're definitely Eagles fan. Why were you going to do? We have to.
That's what we did last year, Texas Eagles fan. That's what we had 30 new players.
Come on, my guy. Stop it. For me, I think it was great. Like I knew he was going to resign. We were going to stay once the Saints were the only job in town. I was like, yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Like when the Saints the only job, I'm like, he's not. Once the Jaguar job was done, I knew, like, yeah, he's not.
For me,
There's no way he's gonna take a Saint. Like Paul said, he's not desperate. There's no way he's gonna take a Saints job where there's no quarterback in play. Like those other positions, like that's why I was glad we stayed in the postseason for so long. And I do appreciate Cliff Kingsbury for not interviewing me any jobs till after. Like I do appreciate that. But I'm so happy that those other organizations made their play for those coaches already, because then I knew, like, all right, the last job remaining, he's not taking that job. That job doesn't have anything to keep anything to sustain success for him. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, his next coaching job should be, he's looking at it as probably his last coaching job, somewhere, a place where he's gonna make a name for himself as a head coach. So I knew, like, the New Orleans Saints, like I knew once that, I was like, yeah, once the Saints was the only option, I was like, yeah. Oh, he ain't taking that job.
Once the Raiders job got taken, I knew that was gone. Once the
Raiders job, I knew he went with the Raiders job, because the Raiders job ain't guaranteed. He's a quarterback, and there's no quarterback in this draft right now. What's the Raiders picking? Where are they picking?
They're picking 6th, aren't they?
Yeah, that's not a guarantee to get the dude you want.
Oh,
so I'm just saying, you gotta have Cliff is not dumb. He needs the quarterback he wants. You know what I'm saying? And he can't dictate the quarterback within being that far back. So I already knew it. I knew it. So
Cliff's waiting for one job, and that's Cincinnati.
If I can get that job, but see, I'm be real with you, that job don't fit his skill set as a coach. It don't. Joe Burrow ain't the quarterbacks that he typically likes to accustomed of having in his system. If I got to keep it up, I'll keep it a buck. He has a particular quarterback. He has a particular system that fits his quarterback.
Hey, you know the job that he,
like the Jaguars position really scared me, because I thought the Jaguars he would.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence fits that.
He's a mobile quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, but after this concussion, he ain't gonna be a mobile quarterback.
He's still gonna run.
After he got knocked out,
he's still gonna run. He's still gonna run.
Yeah,
but Cliff,
the job that's open, man, the job that could be open next year, even if
he's close.
They're one bad loss away, a couple bad losses away from that job being open. Philadelphia is still not sold on Nick Sirianni. I don't care what you say. I don't care.
That offense fits him back, but they're not gonna. Nah, they've done enough. He's done enough. I don't like the dude. He's done enough.
The Eagles were 2-2, and it was calling for his head.
Yeah, don't worry, but they got the Super Bowl now. It's enough, bro.
Yeah, they've lost one game since.
Bro. I'm sorry.
It's pretty hard to be on the hot seat when you've lost one game since October.
Sorry, man. That dude's safe. He's safe.
Oh yeah, he's safe for this year. I'm not saying he's safe.
The only way he's not.
I'm saying he's safe this year, but next year, if the Philadelphia don't do it as great as they have,
the only way he's not safe next year, I'll be real with you, if they have like the worst foot season in football. Like he has to go like literally 4-13 or something like that.
That's not happening.
And I'm sorry, they're not going 4-13.
They're not what Saquon.
Yeah, so he's safe.
He's going to win 4 games by himself.
Yeah, exactly. He's safe. And I'm gonna be real with you, the Eagles front office won't allow them to be that bad. like they're gonna sign some other players. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I heard. So this is a rumor too, man. DK. There's rumors that DK, you don't gotta take a lot to get DK Metcalf. What you want DK Metcalf here? George, look, man. No, Glenn, you said Stephon Diggs. I'm sorry with you. Let me start with George. I'm sorry with you. Let me start with Glenn first. You talking about Stephon Diggs? Would you take DK?
I got to ruminate on that.
You would get a big possession receiver like DK. You could, yes.
Okay, all right.
I'm not against a DK Metcalf coming here with a Jaden Daniels and a Terry McLaurin. I think will open more things up for Terry.
I think so too. For Terry, what about you, George? I ain't paying.
I gotta tell you, the thought of Jaden Daniels throwing to DK Metcalf in the red zone puts a smile on my face. Because DK Metcalf's a big, bad son of a gun, and he can just post people up and catch it.
He plays small for a big boy at times, so he does. Only on jump balls.
Fair, but
on jump balls, he plays. When you give him a slant, though, he plays bigger though. But on jump, I know you're talking about.
DK would be upgrading in quarterback, even though Geno's done really well.
It would be upgrade. Because more versatility. It's more versatility with Jaden, like especially on scramble plays.
Man, we're gonna hear so many wide receivers agents talking about Washington because they all want to play with Daniels. This is gonna be crazy.
I don't think so. So I ain't gonna lie to you. If I keep it a bean, I like T. Higgins more than I like DK. I do like T. Higgins a lot.
That's fair.
I think T. Higgins is like
cost
that.
is part
I
of
think
the
T.
problem
Higgins is
there.
like that. I just think that T. Higgins is a free agent. Like I just know the bag is going to be real. If you tell me who I think is who would I would rather have, take money out of it. I'd rather have T. Higgins. Take money out of it. I'd rather have T. Higgins. But I just think but I'm gonna be real with you. I just think that I'm gonna say it again. Like that money needs to be allocated to that defense though. Like I saw what I needed to see last
defense.
week.
It need to be with defense.
Yeah, I know it. I saw 55 points. Even with all the turnovers, there's still 55 points.
Yeah,
money needs to be like that means the defense can't even even if the offense, the offense set them up at times, yeah, definitely. But the defense couldn't limit them to 3. They always was getting 7. You know what I'm saying? So it just lets you know like it ain't good enough to even have your back when you mess up. It's not good enough to even stop people normally. They don't get off on third down like that. Like they're not a solid defense. So why about put that money on defense and see if we can improve the team? I think if you improve the team, then you improve Jaden. And what I mean by team is that's not just offense, it's offense and defense. You know what I'm saying? Then you help out. Now Jaden doesn't feel like he has to score 40 points every game. Like I'm sure if you tell Joe Burrow, hey Joe, we'll give you a top 5 defense. You don't gotta score 45 no more. I bet you all that pressure gets off of Joe. I bet you was an even better quarterback.
Yeah, I get that too.
You know what I'm saying? You're a better quarterback. Question. Oh yeah, Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals, right? The DN.
No, Trey Henderson running back.
Trayvon Henderson.
Oh, Trayvon
Henderson.
Virginia's finest.
Trayvon. My bad, bro.
I would. Hey, look.
Yeah, I would. I like him a lot. I do like him a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. Yeah, I do. I know, but I like him a lot. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey,
Glenn, I'll let you go. Go ahead, Glenn. Go ahead.
I would. I coached against this kid in high school, and George knows, right? I coached against this kid in high school. I seen this kid grow up from 8th grade all the way to where he's at now. Hey, this kid would change. You talk about running backs, talk about lightning in a bottle, talk about that guy who's powerful and quick, and talk about who is a dog and won't give you any problems because he loved Christ that much. He's a dog and he loves God. You can't get in and he's not gonna give you problems and he would do that. And we're talking about lightning in a bottle. I seen this kid run on a field and grass came up like Sonic the Hedgehog. And I got the video to prove it. And then another field in Petersburg, he ran up and you saw the dust fly. This kid can go. So I wouldn't mind Trey Henderson at 29 if he falls to
Trayvon Henderson. I was like, when you said Trey, I was like, okay, Trayvon Henderson. Yeah, I got you.
Trayvon Henderson.
Yeah. Y'all know I'm a Michigan fan.
It's the thumbs up, Paul.
Yeah, he does. You know I'm a Michigan fan. He went to Ohio. He went to Ohio State.
I would, Trey.
I went too. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. That dude like that. I can't even lie to you. He liked that. Like I like him more than the other. Was it Junkins? I like him more than like Junkins. Junkins ain't to me. He's way better than Junkins. I'm sorry. And Junkins is cool, but he's better than Junkins to me.
Yeah,
like, I take him over Junkins. Like he is. Like you talk about Jimmy Gibbs for the Lions. You talk about that type of speed, like yeah, man, and he got power with it. This kid is Trayvon, man. Trayvon's different. Trayvon is different, bro. He is different. Coach says, I think Calais Campbell's a free agent. He old as dirt though, but yeah, he was good for the locker room. He'll be good for the locker room. He's still a problem though, but he's old though. Yeah, I wouldn't get Trayvon. I wouldn't get Calais Campbell. I like him though, but I wouldn't get him. I wouldn't. All right, but yeah, I want to see. Okay, yeah, okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah. Yeah, man. Calais Campbell. We'll see. I mean, I feel like we're doing all the free agents. We're gonna do it like a heavy free agent show once free agency really starts to hit and get cranking. We got the draft. We're in January. We're gonna come up with some other topics.
Oh, we got some topics. We got
topics, y'all. We got topics. We got topics. But yeah, man, it's like, all in all, man, we do need to wrap up. I do want to wrap up on the season talk. So I'm gonna start with you, George. You know what I'm saying? I like to be positive because I felt negative last week. Over the weekend because I was so pissed off. But for you, George, man, what made you so proud of this season, bro?
Honestly,
Yeah.
The thing that made me most proud of this season is that we felt like a real competent NFL organization again, because we have not been a real competent NFL organization for a long time.
Mhm.
That even, and we had the great starts, that certainly helped. But that first game was tough. And we were all in here, and it was doom and gloom. I was doom and gloom. You were talking about the Travis Hunter Bowl, Wole. But even if this season hadn't gone this well, we would have felt like for the first time in a long time, we've moved the ball forward towards being a championship organization again. And I think that's the thing that I'm the most proud of is this team has made such strides off the field, in the front office, with the facilities, with the stadium. That's what I'm most proud of because a championship outfit isn't just the team. It's everything because you're not going to attract the free agents if everything's ramshackle and outdated and all that. And this organization has updated itself completely from top to bottom. And it's so to the point that we heard it during the season. Oh man, players are telling their agents, get me to Washington. Haven't heard that since the early 90s. That's what I'm most proud of.
We got a super chat, and before I go to Glenn's point, I do want to make sure we highlight it. Thanks, Kenny, man. Appreciate you, homie.
Thank you, Kenny.
I appreciate you, Kenny. Said Higgins is a dog, but I think he will want more money than Terry. I agree. That's the only reason why I'm not sure. I like Higgins a lot, but the only reason why I'm not sure if I want to get Higgins though because of that situation. Because I feel like you can't pay top receivers that amount of money. But I'm with you, bro. Appreciate you with the super chat, man. Definitely agree with that though. All right, go ahead, Glenn. What made you so proud of the season, my man?
I think what made me proud of this season, the way they fought, man. Where this team didn't quit. How many years have we watched fourth quarter games and this team gave up leads, or this team lost late, or you turned the TV off before the fourth quarter even came? Like, man, they're about to lose a football game. This team made you watch TV, and it was must-see TV. Made me proud because this team was able to play and win the big games. How many big games had lost in years and years? And you're like, man, can Washington just win the big game, right? Can they win the game when it counts? So they beat Cincinnati, right? The big game. They hung in there with Baltimore. I'm not, and that was kind of a moral victory. Some people, right?
Yeah.
And the Hail Mary that never goes right for Washington, right? Yeah. It never goes Washington way. So things that wouldn't go Washington way went their way. And I love how the coaching staff said they prepared. It was preparation, right? It wasn't just talent. They were prepared for this. And how everybody started to believe that, to me, was where, you know what, these players actually like each other. I've been around the organization. Well, I've been around an organization where this team didn't like each other, right? These guys didn't care. They were just there for themselves. They were selfish, right? But this group had made it proud. And then when every time you turn on ESPN or Fox Sports and you saw this team on there and they was talking about this team, they wasn't talking about a scandal with this team. They wasn't talking about no girls and lawsuits with this team, but they were actually talking about players like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin and Bobby Wagner or Frankie Louvu, right? That, to me, made me proud to be a Commanders fan once again. Through the good, bad, and ugly, I've always been a Commanders fan, right? But this year, you can walk up high. You can walk up with your chest high, your head high, and say, you know what? I'm a Commanders fan. Didn't win the NFC East, but guess what? We made it to the NFC Championship game.
That's good. That's a very, very good point, man. Very good point. Oh, for me, man, for me, it's more. I want to say thank you for bringing like my stone cold diehard fandom back. You know what I'm saying? Like you forget where it was at when they were so bad. Like you still rooted for this team, you love the team, but you forget like what losing really does to you. It does. And you're kind of like you build this callus, right? And in certain things, you're like, okay, whatever. But then when it doesn't hurt as much, because it used to hurt. Like loss. I remember like losses used to really hurt. Like every weekend when I lost it, like I remember when they lost, I would feel bad for like till Wednesday. Like that used to be my thing. And then all of a sudden when the losing kept happening, it was like it got lesser and lesser, and where I wasn't as annoyed anymore. And then it was like, all right. Then I started doing reporting and stuff, like with Fox and stuff. Where I used to go to games or whatever. And then I would see players and they would lose and they wouldn't they didn't care like I would care. And I was like, screw this, y'all don't care. Like, I don't care then. You know what I mean? And then when you see a group of like young dudes like this season, like you hear the brotherhood, you're skeptical initially. Like, I'm like, I hear this type of jargon before. But then when you see it and it starts to happen little by little, week by week, game by game, and then you see like the effort, and when people keep holding you, like people you saying like you ain't this and you ain't that, but you keep proving them wrong. Oh, you ain't going to compete with the Bengals on Sunday night. Damn, you did that. You scored 30 plus on them on Sunday night. I mean, no, Monday night. Excuse me, Monday night. Oh, you going to Arizona? Oh, you got to travel to Arizona. Like Arizona look good the following week. Oh, you going to dominate Arizona? That's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Then you playing the Sisters of the Poor. You going like the Browns? You going to beat them like and where your starters can rest? The Titans? You put in work. Carolina with Marcus Mariota, like, okay, your rookie quarterback out. Let's play Marcus Mariota, the journeyman, the guy who no one believes in. Oh, Marcus Mariota, like he back in Oregon. Okay, we doing that. So you're fandom, you start to like, it starts to come back to a point where literally after this playoff game, after the championship game, I was depressed. I was depressed. I was like, and my brother was like, man, I'm proud. My brother, I'm pulling the curtain back. My brother was like, yeah, I'm not as hurt as I was. Like, I'm so proud of these guys. I'm hurt. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm hurt. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not over this. I can't get over this. He said, you like for real? Like, I can't get over this. This hurts. This loss hurts. So I want to say thank you to Washington. I do. I want to say thank you to this coaching staff. Thank you to the organization. Thank you to Josh Harris. Thank you to Magic Johnson, Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, everybody, all the coaches. I'm sure I'm missing like important coaches, but all the coaches. Jayden Daniels. Adam Peters. Thank you, Adam Peters, for drafting Jayden Daniels. Terry McLaurin. All of the players, man. Like, thank you, man, because you made this such a special year, special season. And I think I speak for all Washington Commanders fans where like we are so blessed. Like, because you brought back the city of football back, man. Like, I don't think or the DMV, not in the city of the DMV. Like, you brought it back. Or Commanders Nation, because it stems even further out than just the DMV. You brought so much love back to the fans, man. You pretty much, I grew up when we were the prize of we were one of the prizes of the NFL, and you brought that back. Like, it's almost there again. Like, especially in the home basis, the love for the team is back. So thank you, man. Thank you. And it's different for 2012. It's different. It's more sustainable, and you really believe, man. Like, it's a different belief. You believe in the coaches and you believe in the players. You believe in the culture. That's the most important thing. You believe in the culture more than anything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, thank you, Washington. Paul said, also couldn't wait to see this team play because they made it exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, George. Paul, that's it right there. You couldn't wait to see this team play because you didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah, they did. I did. Totally agree. I totally agree. I don't remember. He said, or was that the Thursday night game? Oh, no. I was wrong. That was a Monday night game, Indian Lake, Ohio. I was wrong on that one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. This has been dope, man. We talked. Look, man, this wasn't a football weekend.
Just flew by.
It flew by, man. Look, man, it's not even a foot. We ain't even pre-gaming nothing or anything. We still gave y'all some good content. Won't he do it? I tell you, won't he do it? All right, man. Before we end this show, man, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_everything. All right, if you're not on our YouTube channel right now, go to our YouTube channel, which is the All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. Hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. All right, man, I appreciate all of y'all for pulling up, man. Oh, draft show in April, live. All right, no way. I'll think about that. That sounds like a solid plan. That sounds good. I ain't gonna hold you, Paul. That sounds good. That sounds good. Maybe, you know what? That's gonna be in the works. I like that idea, Paul. I like that a lot. I like it a lot, actually. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for pulling up, tuning in. Hey, we're gonna it's gonna be a dope off season. Best believe it. We're gonna lead it all training camp. Anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. Deuces. We are out.